the efficiency of the employee increases, that all result to one thing, that is more productivity. Employer gives to the employee because of the work the employee has done to the employer, that is called compensation. Develop relevant content. So for all the content you have actually developed, coaching is off the job training. Actually it is not. It is on the job training, the coaching. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Vidhyaashram from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students for the second unit. It's all about the framework of human resource development. That is how exactly the companies follow the framework of HRD and how HRD's framework will help the company to get more productivity as well as the effectiveness and efficiency of an employee will increase. So let's go with the first one. Here we have is the introduction of HRD. Now yesterday I went with a beautiful concept, that is what exactly HRD is, why there is a need for HRD, and then we also learned something about the effectiveness of organization. Now here when we go with the framework, HRD seeks to improve the performance and productivity of employees. See here, when we understand the concept that why HRD is used, then you will be able to understand that HRD is the main thing for increasing productivity, because the efficiency of the employees depends on the development of the company towards them. So that's where we are supposed to understand it. As I was telling you people that any company, if they need to grow, their human resource development is a must. The thing is, it's compulsory. See, why human resource management aims particularly more on HRP and HRD is human resource planning and human resource development is if the employees have the skills and if the skills are improved, what will happen? That is, the effectiveness in the organization increases, the efficiency of the employee increases, that all result to one thing, that is more productivity. And here please do understand, the customers, they will definitely see to it that if your employees give good quality, right, like innovative ideas or creativity, whether it is a manufacturing company or it is a service providing company, then they can retain the customers, right? Once you retain the customer becomes a loyal customer, and that is how the profitability is maximized. That's the reason HRD is very useful. Say you always are supposed to give training and development to your employees. The reason I'll just tell you here. See, as I said, HRD seeks to improve, right? And then what happens? Through initiatives such as training programs. So you give training to your employees, then their career development will happen, then the opportunities they'll get more, the performance management and organizational development intervention will definitely happen. That is why the framework is very, very important. By investing in HRD, organization can enhance employee engagement, retention and satisfaction, that is ultimately contributing to sustained growth, innovation and competitiveness in today's dynamic. When I say dynamic, there is always a dynamic business environment in this 21st century. So you are supposed to have a beautiful framework of HRD so that all these can be achieved. See, yesterday I just told you people, right? In the first unit of HRD, where we went with conceptual analysis, we analyzed all these streams. It encompasses various processes and strategies designing to enhance individuals and organizational effectiveness by developing skills, knowledge and capabilities. Here, why is that HRD is so very important? One thing is, It's always this saying that if you live, you should live as if there is no tomorrow. But if you learn, you should learn as if there is no end. That is what Mahatma Gandhi said in his statement. So here please do understand, HRD is a continuous process. It is never ending. Next here we have the framework, how exactly the framework is designed. The first one is need assessment. You should understand why there is a need, right? And then you are supposed to make the framework. Next, you design it. That is how it should be designed. And then you develop it. That is by trial and error method. Many of the HRs, they design as well as they develop their model. Then you go with implementing the plan. That is how exactly it should be implemented. When I say this, right, it is exactly a process. It is what? It's a process. And then you check whether it is proper or not. That is, evaluation should be done. Then ask for feedback. Now here, in the first chapter also I told you, right, feedback plays a very, very important role. So that's the reason feedback is a must. And then you improvise it. Say you got a feedback, then you improvise. Say example, I'll just tell you. There were these two companies which were very, very famous in the entire world. One is Ferrari, another is Lamborghini. So Lamborghini, they used to initially they started to manufacture tractors, and Ferrari, as you people know, it was a fast moving vehicle, right, a speed car. So here what used to happen, there was a show of Ferrari where a Lamborghini owner, he went and he tried to go for a test drive. Now after the test drive is all done, he wrote in a note, because there was something called feedback form. He felt good and then he wrote it. When he wrote something, then that went to Ferrari. Now Ferrari read that and he gave a reply. The reply was, how can a person who manufactures tractors know about clutches and gear of a speed vehicle? So that feedback, what Lamborghini gave it to Ferrari, and in return Ferrari gave it to Lamborghini, changed the entire world. Lamborghini decided that I'll not manufacture trucks or lorries or tractors. I will now manufacture the speed cars. And now if you go with it, right, Lamborghini is in the top and Ferrari is not in the top. So that's the difference. See what happens with this feedback and then improvement. You can go with two things. The feedback given by Lamborghini, if Ferrari could have taken it, Ferrari would have retained the position. Now what happened? The next feedback, that is Ferrari gave it to Lamborghini. What a tractor manufacturing companies knows about gear and the accelerator. That feedback was given by Ferrari, but he took it, he improvised it. He said, I will definitely make it, and that is how it is. So that's the reason. Just like this, we have a lot of examples which we can give it to you people, but do understand, always take positive feedback. The same way you should take the negative feedback also. You should not just rejoice that saying, I got a positive feedback, so I'm doing great. The minute you get a negative feedback, don't feel that, no, who is he to give feedback? Never see that. Understand the perspective of the people and then move on. Next is career development. See here, without a proper career development, you cannot convince the employees. You cannot tell the employees that you are supposed to do all these things with a lot of patience and effectiveness. You can't. So that should be what the framework of HRD. It says what? You should go with career development. They should get promotion. They should get good salary. They should get the responsibilities. They should get authority. So career development should be there. It is mandatory. You cannot say that there won't be any career development. Next is performance management. Always you understand how the management should see each and every person on the basis of performance or on the basis of any other activity. So on the basis of performance, if you judge, now that person will be efficient as well as effective. The next one is leadership development. Now, in the meanwhile, as I told you, succession planning is there. You are supposed to always go with the leadership development. You should give them that quality of leadership, taking risk, taking decisions, giving a lot of strategical ideas, and the skill should be enhanced. So that's where the leadership development will happen. The next one we have here is the HRD process. Now, as I told you that the process will be there, it's step by step, but you are supposed to understand why HRD process is very important. First is assess them, that is, you should have the assessment. Next you have training, then you have design, implementation, evaluation, feedback, career and performance management. If you go properly here, right, I'll just go back to the session here. Say the framework, as I told you, the same way if you go with it, the HRD process is also looks similar, right? So here we have what? The assessment, training, design, implementation, evaluated, feedback and improvement, career development and performance management. So it's the same thing. Next one we have here is designing effective HRD program. How will you design it? First is you identify the organizational needs, the needs of the organization. Then you analyze employees' needs. So first is organization, second is employee. Then set clear objective. Both you combine together, have a clear objective. Next is choose appropriate method. Now there are so many methods, right? So you are supposed to go with which method we are supposed to do, right? Next is develop relevant content. So for all the content you have actually developed, create a structure curriculum, provide adequate resources. Now here you have two. In that, which one is the best? So then it will be wrong. So you will go with that one thing which you felt it is good. Provide adequate resources. To accomplish that, you provide the resources, tailor the program and participants. Now, who should be the people in this project? Tailor it, and then the participant also should be done. Next is designing effective HRD program. Whenever I say, please do understand, you are an HR manager. You are what? HR manager. Say you are supposed to go with, first thing is organizational, second is the personal, that is their needs, the third is you go with the clarity, and later on all these comes, but here resources adequate you are supposed to supply it to them. Next is intervention, HRD intervention. It can come for a 2 marks or it can come for a 10 marks. Here whenever you go with it, there are something called knowledge, skills, abilities, and one more is attitudes. Whenever you get this question called as intervention, you are supposed to go with these four: KS, AAS. So this is what the intervention. It's all called ACT, Abhilash Chandra trick to remember how HRD intervention happens. The same. HRD interventions are systematic activity. What is it? Systematic activity. See, it's a keyword, right? Systematic activity. Systematic activity. Designs to improve the knowledge. I told you here, knowledge, skills, you have abilities and attitudes of employee at all levels of an organization. When I say all levels, if you go with it, the nature and size of the organization depends on the levels, right? Or the levels depends upon the nature. So here we have the top level, the middle level, supervisor level, then the level goes distributed. Now here, whichever level it is, you are supposed to go with KSAAS, that is knowledge. Then you have skills, abilities and attitudes that will be improved for what? For all level of an organization. The goal of HRD intervention is to bridge the gap between, there is a gap, right? Gap between the skills and knowledge employees currently have and the skills and knowledge they need to perform their jobs effectively. So what they had and what they are supposed to get, that is a bridge between it, and it reduces the bridge. So it's a bridge where the gap is there and they reduce it. So what you were and what you want to be, that is what the HRD intervention aims at. It's a 2 marks question for you people. Next is types of intervention. What are the types of intervention? First one is because of training, you will definitely have a thing. Next is development, then PM, compensation and benefit, and then employee relations. So whenever I go with this word called compensation, that is anything and everything the employer gives to the employee because of the work the employee has done to the employer, that is called the compensation. So these are the types of HRD intervention. Any doubt regarding this, please do call us and we will explain it to you in depth. So that is how we train all the students across the Karnataka that HRD means it is Abhilash sir and his subject. Next one we have, that's a very beautiful topic for you, that is training method. So there are two types of methods. So whenever we go with this on the job training or off the job training, we will be able to understand that when you're working in a company, when you're working in the organization or working in a factory, any person who comes and train you, that is called on the job training. That means you are in the real field and people are coming and they are training you. When it comes to off the job training, now you're not in the company or not in the workplace. You are a part of the company, but you're not in the workplace and somewhere else you are being trained. That is called off the job training. It's a sure question. It's a 10 marks question. So please do understand 10 marks for on the job and off the job. They can ask a difference between on the job and off the job, or they can say explain training method. So always write this here, on the job, and here off the job. First column should be something called basis. On what basis you are actually going with it. You can just write here meaning. First is what the meaning is. Next you go with the, say example now, skills, or say the place where exactly we get it here, which is more apted, how people go with it, whether it is on the job or off the job. You will be surprised to see that any MNC company, whoever gets freshers, they always go with off the job training first and then they go with on the job training. So that's a very, very important thing which you are supposed to know. So here we have on the job training. I've given few examples of on the job training, how exactly it is. The first thing is coaching and mentoring. See, many of them, they feel that coaching is off the job training. Actually it is not. It is on the job training only, coaching. Next is job shadowing. Job shadowing, in the sense the person whoever does it, you are doing the same thing. That is job shadowing. Internship and apprenticeship. Job rotation. Please do understand this one. Job rotation. Here I'll just tell you. So whenever you go with this job rotation, always understand this simple example. There is this person who's an employee. Now he is working for HR department, right? He's working for HR department. Done. There are few other departments called finance, then you have marketing, you have sales. Now the problem is there is no proper sales. So the board of directors, they ask a question to the HR manager saying that why we are not able to get proper sales. It's a very simple question. The HR says that marketing is not happening. That's the reason we are not getting sales. It's a very simple one. The marketing people will say, no, there is no proper finance given to us, so we can't go for marketing. That's the reason your sales is not happening. Now, when it comes to the finance says, sir, sales is not happening. So the thing is, everybody go with blame game. So for small companies, I repeat, for small companies, this job rotation cannot happen to MNC company. It is only for small companies or startup it happens. This one person, 6 months he'll work for HR, 6 months he'll work for finance, 6 months he'll work for marketing, and 6 months he'll work for sales. Or it can be 3 months also, or a month also, not a problem. Just to learn the entire process, the minimum requirement is 3 months and the maximum is say 1 year. So here what happened, job rotation, he went to all the department. Now if some problem happens, he's a person who will not blame the game, right? So he'll understand why marketing will not happen, why finance is not giving money to the marketing, why sales is not happening. He'll understand, he'll not blame anybody. Instead, he'll go with more creative ideas or innovative ideas so that he can be in profitable, that is the company can be in profitable. That is called on the job training, one of the example, which is job rotation. Next is simultation and case studies. They'll be actually getting it and they'll get to know projects and assignment and pure learning, and team collaboration will also happen while they are working. So that is what on the job training. Next here we have is off the job training. Now in the off the job training, what happens? Classroom training, they go to the class and then they gonna learn it. Workshop and seminars, they attend workshop, seminar, conferences and symposia. Then e-learning and online courses, they can actually go with it. You had a lot of things, say upgrade and other things. Simulation and virtual reality, that is a VR. Formal education programs given to the trainees and the trainer as well. Self-study and reading also helps them to understand each and everything, that is off the job training. So anywhere, whenever you have any doubt regarding on the job training or off the job training, please do ask us. We're always there to tell you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you. Thank you.